Greetings, grade 12. In the previous session, that's the first one for this particular chapter, organisms and population. I have explained about ecology, environment. We have seen how the organism and environment is dependent on each other. We talked about the various factors of ecosystem, that is at the organism level, at the population level, community level, and then at the biomes. We have seen different types of biomes. We also have seen the different kinds of habitat, what you can see in a biome. And then we talked about biotics and abiotic components. After that, when I took the Zoom class, in that we have seen uh, the major abiotic factors and what are the responses for the abiotic factors. Like we have discussed about the regulators which can regulate their internal body temperature by keeping it stationed or by not changing it. Okay, so in order to do that, the mammals and the birds require a high expense of energy to be used up, and this energy they use in to maintain the constant body temperature. That was what was under regulators. Then the second one, we have seen conformers, in which we have seen that these organisms are not able to maintain their internal body temperature, and hence they are also called as cold-blooded animals. And in that their osmotic concentration of the body, it changes, and heat loss or heat gain is the surface phenomena what they have, and hence they are smaller in size. I told you that this is one important board question. Then we have seen about migration, that in which we have discussed about the Siberian birds and all, and then we talked about the suspended environment that we've seen. I've discussed about spores and cysts in that, and then we were talking about adaptation. So towards the end of the session, I was talking about adaptation. We got some interruptions in between. That is why I made this particular session, in which I will make you to go through adaptation again in detail, and there are few questions that comes in your board exam from this topic. So let's move on. When I say organism and its environment, and in that adaptation, so adaptation is a morphological, physiological, and behavioral attribute that enables an organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. Okay, all these adaptations is seen, or it enables the organism to survive. Now let's see the adaptation in kangaroo rat. Now in kangaroo rat, um, I think I have discussed while in Zoom class as well, that here these rats have a unique ability that they can oxidize the fats. They can oxidize the fats which is available inside their body, and this oxidation meets up the water requirement which is required by for the metabolic process of this fat. So you can see on your screen, internal fat oxidation gives water as a byproduct. So these fats don't require the water resource, and they can survive in desert for that. And also the urine which they release, that is very much concentrated, so that again they reduce the water release from that particular mechanism. So this is how the kangaroo rat overcome, or they have adapted in the deserts. Now, when I talk about, say, adaptation of desert plants, this is the second thing that we are going to discuss. Now, again, in this, the thick cuticles, you know that the cuticles on the leaf surface, so there the stomatas are arranged in deep pits. So stomatal opening does not happen in day, and you all know that the stomata remains closed. You know about the CAM plants, that is the C4 cycle that is done in these plants, and hence intermediate is formed, and which is acted upon during the day. So the absorption of gas happens at night when the stomata opens, and then they enter the C4 cycle. So carbon dioxide is released throughout inside. We all have seen this in your grade 11 ka syllabus how the carbon dioxide is is used, which is inside the plant only, and the same cycle gets repeated. That was your C4 cycle. So these are the adaptations in the desert plant. Now, Opuntia comes in your board examination, and it's also important from your practicals point of view when you will be showing you the sample of Opuntia, and you have to um, um, remember that you have to it will come in your sample observation. So there we know that the leaves are reduced as in spines, and photosynthesis is done by stem. In fact, whatever the water the plant can hold, that is also in their stem. So after that, now talking about adaptation of mammals. So I have spoken about Allen's rule, and where I have talked about the shorter ears and limbs and the longer ears and limbs. So to reduce the heat loss, so that the heat can be kept inside, or it can act as an insulator. So you have to keep the heat inside. That is when the shorter ear and shorter limbs are there, and you can see it in colder climate. Whereas the longer ear and longer limbs is to increase surface area again, so that a lot of heat can be generated out, or they can be removed out, so that the temperature of the body will be reduced there in the summers. So this is what is Allen's rule. And then we have talked about seals, or all these aquatic mammals which stays in colder region. Again, they will have a thick layer of fat which we called as blubber. It also acts as an insulator. So now talking about the adaptation, that is okay. So here I got interrupted, wherein I have to talk about the psychological and um, the physiological and biochemical adaptation. So physiological and biochemical adaptation, I talked about the altitude of the height. That is when you go to a higher altitude. So your physiology of your body will be different. You will be feeling nausea and say reduced oxygen. So heart palpitation will happen. Your heart will be beating in a different time, because in a different way. As in, when there is less amount of oxygen, you'll be getting fatigue. So because of the less atmospheric pressure, which is less atmospheric pressure, which is there on the higher altitude. So all this is your physiological adaptation. Now, if you see here, they are talking about archaebacteria, and you all have learned about archaebacteria, that it is the oldest bacteria, or the oldest living organism, and how it is found in hot spring, under deep sea, so hydrothermal vents where the temperature is more than 100 degrees. So in that kind of environment also, this particular bacteria can survive. Now many fishes, there the temperature is below 0 degree, but still they can thrive, or they are alive there. Many marine invertebrates and fish, they have a great depths in ocean, and where the pressure is so much that the normal living organism will be squashed. So there also these fishes, or these marine invertebrates, are very much living. Now talking about this is what I was talking before. So altitude sickness, you can see that the symptoms what I have discussed, and that is because of the low atmospheric pressure, because it is not getting enough oxygen. Now talking about the behavioral adaptation, that's the last one. So behavioral adaptation. Here I have talked about the desert lizard. Now this organism is very interesting, because these desert lizard, they bask in sun and absorb heat when their body temperature is low. So when it is low, they'll be going towards sun, they'll be taking the heat energy from the sun, and when the temperature will start increasing, they will move to the shade, and this is how again they maintain the changes, because you all know that how in desert the temperature will vary. In the daytime the temperature increases, and the night time it's so cool over there. So this is how this organism has adapted to live, and some species are also capable of burrowing deep inside the soil to hide and escape from the ground heat. So this is what is the behavioral adaptation that you have seen in the desert lizard. Now, if talking about the board point of view, the desert lizard question comes, kangaroo question comes, that is your kangaroo rat ka question comes. They can talk about how the adaptation of your desert plants is there. That can be talked about. So that's it. These are the three things which normally comes. But the more importantly is the regulators and the conformers. So that is something which have come, which I've seen repeatedly coming in your board exam.